Are you a home buyer in today's market? If so, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed and maybe a little concerned as to which repairs are minor and which repairs are major and might cost you just a little bit more money. Stay tuned in this video where we explain the things you can walk away from and the things that aren't that big of a deal.
Hi, I'm Jake Wire.
And I'm Lexi Wire.
We're with the Wire Group, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and discuss the 3 items when you're looking at homes can probably be fixed pretty easily when you're looking at something. And then we're talking about 3 other items that you might want to seriously consider the cost of fixing those items before purchasing the home. So let's just go ahead and get into the top 3 that are pretty easily fixable, and most real estate agents would probably agree with us on this. The number 1 item that we hear about all the time is paint.
This one's funny because it goes both ways. Really, I feel like if you are listing your home, you should touch up the paint and make it look presentable, but not all sellers do that, especially with this limited inventory that we have. But you shouldn't be scared. If there's bright orange, bright pink, purple, blue, whatever
Scuffs,
color,
dog marks, all the etc. things.
Yes, do not worry about that. On the good side, the positive thing is that if you're picking out paint by yourself, at least you have the ability to pick out the brand you like, the quality you prefer that fits your budget, and of course the color. So paint really isn't that big of a deal.
No, absolutely not. And it can be done for a couple $1,000s for most homes, professionally done. It's also something as real estate agents, we absolutely can go to bat for you guys and kind of negotiate a lower price and or a concession.
Yes.
So easily negotiable. Also, you amongst the other 100 people that have walked through that house have had the same gripe. It gives you a ton of ability to negotiate price. So someone who didn't do the proper things up front on the listing and maybe put this thing on market in a bright, Pepto-Bismol pink paint, you have the option now to negotiate the price down some and use that to your advantage. That's
true. It will immediately pull so many people out of the buying pool for that specific property, so it really will give you the leg up in negotiations.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next thing. So the second thing that is absolutely affordable to fix would be carpet.
Yes, people get intimidated by carpet pretty often, but
it can be gross. It can be absolutely gross. Like if someone puts their house on the market after raising a family, house full of pets, it can get pretty beat up.
That's true. But again, it's another one of those things that it's really nice when you're in charge of the quality that you'd like, the pad size that you'd like, the color that you prefer, because I guarantee you if someone is listing their home and replacing the carpet, they're going to go with the most inexpensive carpet possible.
Yeah.
So that might not be a bad deal. If you would like nicer grade carpet, you're probably going to have to replace it anyways.
Yeah, and again, the negotiations. Flooring allowances happen all the time for someone that has carpet or flooring that's completely worn out. You have the ability to get that worked into the deal.
That's right. And again, that will decrease the buying pool for that property.
Absolutely, absolutely. So number 3. So number 3 on the affordable things to fix would be, we talked about paint, we talked about flooring, and number 3 is garage doors. We see that all the time. You pull up to these houses and the first thing you get to see is a garage door with a big old dent in the side of it. So it's a really inexpensive thing to give your house a whole new facelift with a really nice garage door. A couple $1,000s and suddenly you pull up to this brand new looking house. It can be done really easily after closing. So absolutely, I know that's the first thing you see when you pull up to a house. Don't let that deter you from the entire place.
That's right. And again, your buying pool is going to be very turned off by the fact that there's a giant dent in the garage door. It's one of the first things you would notice about a property.
It is.
And if they were our sellers, we would encourage that to be fixed. However, in the scheme of things, it's affordable to fix. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. And it doesn't affect the integrity of the home whatsoever. So all things considered, that's considered a minor fix.
Yeah, absolutely. What's amazing too is like I've seen really nice garage doors sell a house to some of my buyers where they pull up and they see that really cool black garage door, which you love, I know.
I love it.
Or a wood garage door, things like that. It can absolutely change the entire frontage of a house.
That's right.
So those are the 3 things if I was looking at homes, especially in today's like limited home inventory, I would consider possibly making those adjustments or making those negotiations and possibly considering the house if everything else is right.
That's right. If you keep an open mind, all of these things will work to your advantage.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the 3 things that can be a little bit costly and you probably really need to take consideration if this house is right for you at the price it's at.
Right. So number 1 for me is HVAC every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really expensive thing and an easy thing to check too.
Yes.
Whether or not someone discloses that, a good agent's going to go take a look at the tags and tell you exactly when that manufacturing date was. An average HVAC these days, unfortunately, is only going to last you 15, 20 years. We've seen stuff out in the field that's 30 plus years old. It's well past its prime.
Either way, if it's appearing to be on the last leg of its life cycle, that might be something you want to consider, and it might be worth walking away from because that is a costly repair.
It could be $6,000, $7,000 right off the bat. So, okay, so number 2, and I think this is probably a little bit more in people's wheelhouse and they see it when they do see a house, is kitchens and bathrooms. Completely outdated or worn out kitchens and bathrooms. Those are expensive items to fix. It's something probably bringing in a general contractor if you're thinking about making that change early to figure out what you're really up against cost-wise.
Right, and again, we're not talking paint colors and we're not talking the flooring.
No.
We're talking completely outdated or obsolete footprints, outdated materials. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. I mean, a good kitchen, an average kitchen is really going to cost you $20,000, $25,000. An average bathroom's probably $10,000 to $15,000, and if you want to get a really fancy master bathroom, it goes up from there.
That's right.
And of course, all these prices keep going up, so keep that in mind.
Also remember that we're not talking about appliances and fixtures, because those are also pretty easy fixes.
Absolutely. And the next thing, and this thing is something that most people are aware of when they see a house because it really affects the curb appeal, is the roof.
Yep.
I mean, when you see a house, it's like 50% of the house that you're going to see is going to be probably roofing material. And if you have a really worn out, stained up roof, it's going to be one of the first things that you probably notice when you pull up to a home. It's also a very costly thing. So if you're going to put a new roof on most homes, it's going to start at about $12,000 and goes north from there. They can be very costly to replace a roof.
Absolutely, especially in this climate. If you're worried about it at all, we just want to make sure that the roof is sound. You can also get a roofing inspection.
Yep.
With the kind of storms that we encounter sometimes during hurricane season, you really want to make sure that the roof is sound.
And I know I said I was only going to say 3 things that were big items, but the last thing really is going to be windows. Make sure that if you're buying something in the 90s and you have dual pane vinyl windows, they've been replaced or they're going to be replaced at some point, or they're going to be figured out that it's going to be a future expense and what that's going to cost you guys. They're just really big systems on a house that if someone lives there for 20 years, they're probably all real on the cusp of need to be replaced.
Well, and they're large systems, but they also affect the integrity of the home. If you have a roof leak and you don't know about it, that's a major, major repair down the road.
Absolutely. I would say that probably windows and roof are probably most of the reasons for any kind of storm damage around this area. So, well, I hope that helps, but in today's low inventory, you absolutely want to consider some of these homes that have easily cosmetic, cheap fixes.
Right.
And when I say cheap, I know a couple $1,000s is not cheap, but in the scheme of things, when you're looking at 10s and 20s, $1,000 repair is really not going to break the bank. So absolutely consider these items. If you have a really good realtor, like I said, they can absolutely go ahead and negotiate some of these expenses for you guys up front. But don't go into any of this stuff blind, especially these bigger items. You want to know those costs up front and if you should be offering what they're asking.
So if you are a home buyer trying to purchase a home in today's market, please reach out to us, give us a call. We'd absolutely love to help you. Also, if you're listing your home and you're not sure where to start and you need help with that, we can absolutely help with that too. Give us a call, email us, text, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, guys.